but my dick's still up.
So normally we start our podcast off with something, a little fun, a little joyous, event that happened to one of us or something that crossed paths with our day-to-day lives that's funny that could translate to the listeners. This doesn't happen. It's not actually a direct correlation, but I found it particularly interesting for middle-class people, as we are assholes who bridge the gap between the middle class and I don't know, other people.
We don't really bridge the gap. We just try to connect with other middle class assholes.
You're right. We bridge the gap between middle class assholes. So Trevor Noah, the long-standing Daily Show host, I think of 6 years now, is stepping down. And unfortunately, I like Trevor Noah. I like his work. I like his stand-up. I think he was great. I think he did a fabulous job during the pandemic when it was called the Daily Pandemic special or something like that. For those of you who don't know, this show has been on now for like 20 plus years. Craig Kilborn did it the first 3 years. Jon Stewart, Trevor Noah for 6 years? Yeah. And then a slew of people.
It had to be more than 6 years for Trevor Noah because
it's 2016.
Didn't he come in?
2016.
Okay. Because I know that Jon Stewart stepped down like before Trump even got like the nomination and all that jazz because he knew that.
Well, maybe it's like we're like inching towards close to 7 years. I'm just like going by what I saw, but spawned a slew of people who have gone on to bigger and better things. Colbert, so things like that. So Noah's
bad people from the original Daily shows. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Kilborn,
John Oliver.
Yeah, Kilborn, who went on
Steve Carell.
Yeah. As I said, Kilborn, who went on to do the Late Late Show after Letterman, and then, of course, now Colbert's hosting the Late Show, the Letterman Show. So here's the quote from Trevor Noah, and I want to pick your guys' brains about this. So, and this has to do with him stepping down. It says, I realized during the pandemic, he told, COTB, COPT, everyone talks about work-life balance, but that almost creates the idea that your work and your life are two separate things. When in fact, I came to realize during the pandemic that it's just a quote, life balance. It's just your life. Your life doesn't stop because you are working. And so if you want to make time for your family, if you want to make time for your friends, and you want to do what you want to do and everything, find a way to create that time. Time is not one thing we cannot increase. I don't think necessarily that that's a quote that Noah has a disconnect with middle-class people, but is it a life balance?
I get what you're saying. I believe me, I dissected this ad nauseum because I was actually kind of angry when I read this because I'm like, dude, if I could find a life balance, yeah, life would be great, but I'm not afforded that luxury. So it literally is a work-life balance. The only way I can balance my life is by figuring out how to do less work. But I can't do less work because if I do less work, then I can't enjoy my fucking life because I can't live that because I won't be able to afford it. So here we are, a conundrum we all in the middle class world seek.
Yeah, I mean, in his situation, and granted, he worked his ass off and he's a very talented individual. And he's granted this possibility to has been afforded this possibility rather to work 6 years and then say, it's a life balance thing. It just, again, I don't want to throw shade on the likes of Trevor Noah, a person who I respect as a talent. I just think when you say things like that, middle-class people will be like, motherfucker.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, it's not, the motherfuckers are always out of touch, right? They're millionaires. But I don't necessarily, I don't know. I'm a pretty optimistic kind of guy. I didn't get angry by it. It's like, oh, okay, cool, millionaire guy. But I, not being millionaire, middle class, I stuck in around a golf today. I found my way to a career where I can have a life balance. I don't work. I told my fucking boss the other day. I told my boss just quit. I told my new boss, I don't live to work. I work to live. I was like, you will never get an ounce out of me extra than needs to be done, and I'll get my job done probably to the better than every other salesman here.
And again, that it comes down to the career that you end up in. I mean, look, when I was started in radio, I got better at the craft. I learned how to kind of put it away. I learned how to actually kind of do work while I was living, because it was, hey, oh, look at that guy. He's weird. And he's sitting on a park bench talking to a pigeon. I could take that to work tomorrow. Done. Boom, boom, boom. There's a segment. And then when I got to work, I could go through a few news stories. I could ramble up something in my head. Bang, bang, boom. So I didn't have to focus on work. But now that's not what I do. I have a blue collar job. I can't find any other work around these parts that would allow me to sneak in around a golf in the middle of the day. Feel like that would be frowned upon by the government agency that employs me at this current time. So I don't have a choice. You know what I mean? I don't have a choice but to live the way I live. And then there's guys out there that went to a trade school. They, they're literally digging ditches with heavy machinery. Like they don't have that option. Sometimes the job calls for 12 hours a day, and that's what you do. Or they'll call somebody else in to come work the levers and get the gig done. But it's somebody like Trevor Noah. Look, bottom line is America rewards the people who entertain us. It's what we are. It's the thing we produce now. We don't bang out steel. We bang out entertainment. And Trevor Noah worked his youth to this point in his life to where he doesn't have to work anymore. But I would find it hard for somebody like that to tell me how to think about the world when that's how he thinks about his personal life.
Yeah, you need to manage your life balance, Andrew. Come on, do better, be better, want to be better, want to be better.
Yeah. I think the moral of the story is fucking either be a millionaire or don't have kids and do whatever the fuck you want.
And don't try to come up with a philosophical rule for life when you're answering a random question by some KD news reporter who asks you why you're leaving. Because if you do give a flippant response, you're gonna get raked over the coals when people know your name.
That's right.
Yeah. I think that's my only problem with his tenure at the Daily Show was like at some point in time they were like, we should just show him fucking pontificating at commercials or after the episode, and like sometimes it was really good content and other times it was like, what the fuck are you talking about, buddy? Just shut up. just do funny political humor in that South African accent.
Do you rank him up there with like the Stewart, Jon Stewart's of the world, and that or is Jon Stewart? Is like, he the Daily Show and everyone else is playing second fiddle?
Yep, yeah, that's that.
Okay,
yeah.
I mean, Trevor, I think he did a good job taking up the mantle after somebody you can't take mantles up after, right? So
yeah, you're like it's just like Doug DeCinces.
And he's done a lot of good shit, and I think he brought a lot of good comedians. Like to me, his value comes more in the comedians I think he brought to the writers' table and to the fort. Like Roy Wood Jr. is fucking hilarious. Mm-hmm. That fucking Asian guy, excuse me, I forget his name. I think he's fucking great. Like the blonde broad that he has, Jordan fucking Klepper, like all of those dudes, all are individually, and ladies are all individually phenomenal. And I think that'll be fucking Noah's legacy, quite frankly. Like that's the good shit that he brought about.
Yeah.
Now, for somebody like myself who leans right, like Jon Stewart, I mean, I was rolling with Jon Stewart. Didn't matter. Like, even if he was quote unquote offending me, I was still laughing about it because it was a good point, well crafted. Trevor Noah, like, he didn't have that. You know what I mean? He couldn't. He was like a NASCAR driver. He couldn't turn right, so he just stayed left. And so he lost me. He did. He lost. He and the Daily Show lost me as a daily viewer. And so I can't say that. You know, he did as good, but who can do what Jon Stewart did? Jon Stewart's an anomaly. I mean, you get somebody like a Jon Stewart, a Dave Chappelle, a Norm Macdonald, a Louis C.K., like a Bill Burr. These guys are like once in a lifetime talents that just, thankfully for Stewart, kind of lucked his way into that role. Like he wasn't doing anything up to that point. He was doing bad guest spots in Adam Sandler movies. And then all of a sudden he becomes a comedic political commentator who changed the face of news.
He had the Jon Stewart show on MTV. Let's not sell the guy short. I mean,
that was like 10 years before he got this gig.
I think his like cameo in Big Daddy gets listed on his credits before fucking the Jon Stewart show. The show that had his name is lower on his own fucking credits. Like
he had the cameo in Half Baked.
Yeah, that's above it. It's the enhancement smoker.
Yeah, that's right. You ever seen a $20 bill?
Yeah. Good. Classic shit.
Yeah, I think it's also like do I dislike Stephen Colbert? No, not at all. When I tune into it at 11:30 on a random chance on a weekday, I'll watch. But I used to specifically go to Letterman because I really like Letterman, and it's kind of like in the same vein of like unearthing a king, a goddamn a staple of an hour of a weekday. Am I
Wait, hold on, pause. Let's stop. I need to talk. I need to interject here. So you're a Letterman guy.
I was,
Merc,
yeah.
Do you have a guy? Did you have a guy?
Oh, I thought as a pure joke teller that Leno had a better monologue, but I thought the entirety of the show was better with Letterman.
Okay. And I hated both of those motherfuckers, and I am a staunch Conan O'Brien fan. And they did Conan dirty.
No, oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
They did Conan so dirty. I didn't have time to tune into Conan because he was on for 3 months as the Tonight Show host, so there wasn't any time for that.
That's nonsense. You could
But
have
no,
stayed.
He had his own shit late, and it was always great.
Yeah, you could have stayed up till 12:30 and watched.
Yeah.
I
And that
did.
shit-
No,
that
look.
shit on TBS was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you told me you could have one late night host like be your specific, like he's going to fine tune his monologue, everything, and it's just for you. The guy who's going to get my shtick the best is going to be Conan O'Brien.
Okay.
Conan O'Brien's built for me. I listen to his podcast. I think his remotes are.
Incredible.
He was supposed to come on his HBO show, the new one that's supposed to come out. It was supposed to be all remotes, like where he went to other countries, cities, and all that stuff. But then the pandemic happened, and they had to put a pin in it. I don't know if it's going to come back that way or not. I think it's around the corner. Then he started doing his podcast. Dude, but Conan just gets it. Conan's the everyman funny guy. I mean, Letterman was like your dad's friend who you hope to hold court with, and that's why you tuned in. He was your superior. Conan's my equal. And so, yeah, I would choose Conan over all those guys.
All right, so Alan, answer this question. I guess because I was a Letterman guy. I was one of the few that didn't dislike Leno, but I certainly prefer Letterman over Leno. You said you hate them both. Please explain.
Yeah. No, I just I don't know. For me, and maybe look,
You
were
you a Tom Snyder after Letterman in the early 90s?
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought so. I thought so.
But no, I just neither of their brands of whiteness really did it for me.
Okay.
And I was just like, man, you know what I mean? Like they had funny bits. Like I think you're probably right. I think I agree that Leno's monologue was better, and fucking I think Letterman, not the better interviewer, but the more interesting one. A lot of his interviews just kind of fucking got weird because he was fucking weird. But yeah, I don't know. Neither of them really ever sold me. And then I got fucking hip strings, fucking coiffy, fucking redhead, and I was like, sold, done, got me in. And that was it. I never cared about any other late night guy other than Conan.
Right. Did you miss when they did bits with Rupert G at the Hello Deli next door with Letterman? I mean, that was
yeah, probably.
okay. All right.
And look, I'm not saying that there weren't great bits and shit, but they just weren't my guy.
I'm just saying, never mind. I digress. Go on.
So for me, here's the thing. Carson retired in 92. I was 13 years old. Mm-hmm. So I remember the Johnny Carson show, and my parents let me stay up late to watch the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. But see, then I would sneak in later and later as I got older, and that's when I found Leno. And the thing with Leno was like what happened if they took all of the Tonight Show budget away and then gave it to a wild man. And you got stupid human tricks. You got the stupid pet tricks. You got you got the Stephen Wrights of the world to come on and be comedians rather than the Richard Littles of the world.
Yeah. Hold on. You're saying you stayed up late, post Carson?
I'm saying, yeah, after the Carson show went off, I would stay up late and I would watch
that was Letterman. That was Letterman on NBC.
That's what I'm talking about.
You said,
what are we missing?
You said Leno.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. Okay.
I
do apologize.
Right.
I meant Letterman.
Right.
And I would stay up late and watch Letterman. It was like the wheels fell off the Tonight Show, but the guy was still wearing a suit, so it was still supposed to be classy, but it wasn't. And as a kid, I still got the joke, but I don't think you get Conan O'Brien without Letterman. And so I think that's why I always had like
Fair.
Letterman was my man. And then here comes this Conesy guy. And it's like, this guy's weird. This guy put the whole package together. He went back to being like the polished host with the wheels falling off.
Weird.
So he's the best of both worlds.
Good.
Yeah, I think also with
The masturbating bear.
that with Conan, you also get the you get the comedian meets the writer too. You know, I and I'm not saying that Letterman or Leno weren't writers, but Conan wrote for SNL. He wrote for The Simpsons. You know, I mean, he understood the production value of it all. And then you know, throw him out on stage and he can fucking ad lib and joke. And I agree. Conan's fabulous. The NBC did him dirt hay, but what did he make out with, like $36 million?
Still fucking killing it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. 36 million and probably an ulcer, and he shared most of that money with his staff and
a life balance. A life balance.
That's right. That's right. The best thing with Conan is like, yeah, we need you to do bits, but we're not going to give you any money for them. And again, I think that's how you get the masturbating bear, the random yodeling studio audience member. And have you ever watched any of the behind the scenes, like with him and Andy, like trying to get the bits together? See, like, and the writers would come out and pitch ideas, and it's just Conan sitting there like strumming on a guitar, and Andy like looking through text messages on his phone. And if they ever laugh, they're like, what is that? And then they'll look at each other like, can we work with that? We can work with that. All right. Looks like you made it there. Get out. Just get out. I don't want to see you again. Just leave.
It's so good.
Leave the bit.
Yeah. Conan and Andy Dick going way back, just making bits backstage.
That's right.
Yeah. Middle class holes, everyone. Murr, Allen, and Foxman. Well, so long, Trevor Noah. I think they said they're going to do. It's going to be like a kind of a rotating thing until they find someone. They should. They shouldn't do the rotating host. They should find a person to fill it, whether it's someone who is embarking as Trevor Noah or whoever else. I don't know. Jon Stewart, maybe do Rod Stewart. I don't know. That guy's, dig him up somewhere. Yeah, you want my body, and you think I'm sad. Poop my pants.
You know what'd be great is if they brought Craig Kilborn back for like the first show without Trevor Noah.
Yeah, dude. 5 questions. Come on, dude. Hell yeah.
And you can't say that Craig Kilborn didn't have an impact, because that show wouldn't have existed for Jon Stewart if Craig Kilborn didn't prop it up for just long enough to be taken over by somebody. And in fact, the 5 questions were so powerful that I know that a young Wesley Fox, being what were you, athlete of the week, were asked the 5 questions by one of the local newspaper writers, and they asked young Wesley what your favorite network was.
That's correct.
And Wes, being a bright young man, said CBS. When they said no, I'm sorry, Mr. Fox, the correct answer was Fox.
Yeah. And you know why I said CBS? Because I'm a Letterman guy, God damn it. That's why.
They're ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous at all. Yeah, I'll have to dig up. I have that frame somewhere. Alan, I will take a picture of that and send it to you, and we can share it with the world via the podcast. Yeah, the Cecil Wig used to do 5 questions with.
That's the best part about it. You should just take a picture of the title page of the fucking paper.
The Cecil Wig?
Cecil Wig. That's the funniest part of the whole fucking thing.
What is so funny about the publication
That's
title?
the most preposterous old-timey newspaper name you could ever have. Like, the Cecil Wig.
No, you're right. You're right.
Fair enough.
WHIG, okay? It's classy.
It's named after a now defunct fucking old-timey political party. Like, they wore wigs. They wore wigs.
They meant well. Kind of. I think. I don't know.
And then 200 years later, a young Wes Fox was asked questions of a Craig Kilborn fucking Daily Show.
Yeah. They asked me about, let's see here. They did a tribute question about Dewey, because my brother, there was like, what's the card catalog system of the library? Dewey Decimal System. They asked me something about who was, Christ, X-Files. Who played Gillian Anderson?
She was
Gillian Anderson.
Scully. Agent Scully.
Scully. It was Gillian Anderson.
Who's Agent Scully's partner? was Fox Mulder.
Yeah.
Fox Mulder.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
And then I don't know what the other thing was. I don't know. But yeah, it was like, what's your favorite network? I was like, oh shit, CBS, of course.
Wait, so
Hold on. And
that
Alan,
question after the
yeah.
other questions, because if you were thick enough to not pick up on it after those, the preceding questions,
yeah,
sorry, bro.
I don't recall the like how the questions were like in which they came out, but I will say like 3 years later or 2 years later that that segment became defunct, and they did like a recap, like, hey, we're doing away with 5 questions, and they actually brought that question up as like a, hey, here's an idiot who answered it incorrectly.
Idiot.
Wes Fox said in 1999, diddly-doo. It's like, oh, Christ. And actually, hold on. Now that we're talking about this, the day that paper was printed, my sophomore year of high school, there was a bomb threat, and they stuffed us all in the goddamn gymnasium. So I'm looking around like, yeah, no one around here reads. Well, I see fucking like 50 fucking newspapers jammed up in people's faces. Like, oh man, everyone reads. People are like, Nelson Munsing me. Assholes.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Fuck it. Whatever, man. Middle class holes, everyone. Let's get into some real shit here. So Rosie Moore, Florida. She's a scientist. Doesn't really tell us what she's a botanist, I presume. I don't know. Florida, a scientist who works mainly with sharks and reptiles, but tapped into a niche market where she started diving deep in posing. Excuse me. Sorry. That wasn't a glitch. I had a legitimate burp here via my cellar artois. So basically she has merged her botanist career with posing sexy for Instagram. Moore works in the public sector for the city of Delray and Florida Southeast Coast Water for resource management. And her day-to-day includes getting hands-on with fearsome beasts. So I do a lot of other things on the slide, including python hunting, shark diving, tagging various species like alligators. A 26-year-old originally from Missouri told the Business Insider. So as a side biz, she poses sexy. She says she prefers to keep it professional in terms of the botanist side of the house. But hey, man, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. As the models, when you're talking to somebody, you find out that you're a scientist. It's almost like they respect you for the changes. What's she sipping on there? Some sort of herbal drink there. So she wrangles alligators and she poses sexy in sexy scenes. I don't even know what to say. I mean, was it your thoughts on someone who's now cashing in on her sexy figure?
No,
Alan, I'll let you start.
I mean, good for her. I think I didn't see anything about her being a botanist, and that really doesn't track for the work she's doing. So we'll get back to that. But either way, there was a passage where she said there's a niche market for girls who can like free dive with like sharks and whales. And I was like, go ahead, bitch. That's a great idea. Like that's an entrepreneurial lady, and I give it to her because like if I was not petrified of both sharks and the ocean, I would, and I was also a beautiful white woman, I would fucking free dive with sharks and have another fucking person take pictures of me. I would absolutely do that. I can't. It's not in my fucking skill set, and so good for her. I'm proud of her, actually.
So first of all, they just say scientist. There's no botanist in this.
Okay.
But it also says racy modeling side hustle. And I mean, okay, Alan, you're a pretty good judge of this. Is that racy?
No, I don't say so. Maybe now the herbal tea one, maybe.
I think they're throwing around like that adjective a little too willy-nilly like. I mean, are they racy?
Yeah,
they're sensual. They're hot.
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
hot pigs.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. They'll get your moisture level up. You know what I'm saying? But I actually think.
Sorry, go ahead.
I actually think this is good for women, believe it or not, because most women who look like that, they don't try to study any kind of intellectual field. They just simply try to become the influencer, and that's it. How many hot chicks out there who have a good head on their shoulders, a good working brain, have the ability to market themselves in some capacity, would also have the ability to do some good for the world if that was a marketable skill. And instead, we've had all these homely, ugly chicks out there, and that's all they're good at is using their mind. Well, man, if you can mesh the mind and body together, maybe you'll convince other young ladies to go into fields of science and math and all of these things because that's sexy now. Hey, this chick, look at her. Every dude wants her. Every woman wants to be her. She can go out and she can do her botany and her snake science and all the other shit. And she can also cover the page of a swimsuit Sports Illustrated magazine. Like, this is, to me, this is actually a good thing. This is a positive body image / mind image that girls need to see.
I didn't really think about that, and there was sort of a backhanded fucking homely girl fucking knock that Murr threw out.
Yeah,
he's like, they only use their minds. God forbid.
Yeah, I would like to meet homely girls that look like this.
I didn't think of it. I kind of fucking agree. Like, it's not. He's right. Like, I took some hard science classes, and let me tell you, there wasn't one of those in there. Like,
but
ones that gave a shit. Anyway.
Fair.
I'm being a little funny, but how many hot girls out there, very attractive women, young ladies, whatever, you get what I'm getting at. How many of them think that their only path to success is through their looks when there might be an equal shared path? Like, oh, I can be smart and hot, and that might be the better option for me. So I'm just saying, how many hot girls have pursued quote unquote hot girl paths instead of, like, the sciences? Yeah. When somebody like this becomes a role model, it's like, oh, I can use my brain and people will still look at my body.
Okay. So I'm going to do you one better, at least in my opinion here. So she has been quoted in this particular article, adamant about, like, this is my passion. I do the modeling thing for money. And I would say if you're in that, understanding the fact that, look, you can make money in both. You can probably make more money in modeling if you want to do your passion, and then look, a life balance. Here we are. You can do your life, and then you can.
Also, again, this goes back to career selection. Is wrangling crocodile? I mean, yes, it's work, but it's fucking cool. Doesn't say, like, to me, it seems like if I was a trained professional, that would not be necessarily work, but, like, kind of fun, or free diving with sharks. If I wasn't, as I mentioned before, petrified of both. So, like, yeah, well, I'm with it, man. I like it. I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
she's doing good. She got the mind. She's a scientist. We don't know what kind. Very vague. So she's probably not a scientist, but that's fine. We'll call her one, and we'll slap a lab coat on her, and she's a fucking scientist. But she's also hot.
Yeah.
And by the way, don't you get extra like just like bonus hot points if you are smart? Like, again, maybe. I mean, this chick's obviously smoking, but, like, what if she was like an 8? The fact that she's going out wrangling an alligator in a dude's mind, doesn't that pump her up to a 9? Because she can get her hands dirty.
That might pump like a 4 up to a 9, honestly, depending on the alcohol consumption.
Yeah.
Like,
depending upon the size of the alligator too. It's
that's also true.
That's nonsense.
We talking, is she wrangling like small caiman, or are we talking fucking crocs?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't I like the idea of her. Cayman.
Cayman. All right, God damn it.
That's ridiculous.
Hope you're all inspired. Rosie Moore, check her out. She's a scientist in Florida. Works mainly with the sharks and reptiles.
She's an assorted scientist.
Yeah. I mean, it seems pretty legit.
I wonder if like she went out on an expedition with these guys and she's like, man, I won't be a scientist. And some guy's just trying to get in her pants like, baby, you are a scientist. Well, PhD in science.
He was like, fun fact, when you're out on a ship like this, we can make you a scientist, sort of like a knight in England. So come on over here. You're a scientist now.
This reminds me of that scene with Dennis Leary from Who's the Man when he asked Dr. Dre, did you earn that degree? Nope. You go to doctors? You go to med school?
Don't got that one in the recall.
My brother, $125,000 in debt. We call it doctor.
This fucking guy.
All right. Enough about sexy scientists who have, I don't know, degrees and God knows what. we're going to move on to people who have degrees and God knows what, made billions of dollars doing it. Friend or foe? Hit us
That's
with it,
right. The most famous, not so sexy scientist, Elon Musk, is back in the news for his Neuralink company. Alan, you're aware of Neuralink, correct?
Yes.
All right. I just want to make sure before you call him a snake oil salesman that we get all of his businesses in a row here. So Elon's been working on his Neuralink program, and apparently he's getting set for human trials. However, there's an exclusive saying that Elon Musk's Neuralink botched experiments with monkeys are a total malpractice, including brain hemorrhages. Internal lab notes say that animals were kept alive, all while suffering. Here's some of the bullet points. A former Neuralink employee told the DailyMail.com that, quote, there was no reason to administer bioglue into the skull of a monkey during an implantation surgery. The neurologist allegedly used more than 5 times the amount of adhesive that leaked into the monkey's skull and caused the brain to hemorrhage. The person said that all the animals used in Neuralink's tests were, quote, sacrificed. These issues are a part of a lawsuit by a group of doctors against the University of California, saying that the experiments were held in a way that was not necessarily, quote unquote, scientific. So what do you guys think? Friend or foe? To make a neurological, bionic, symbiotic humanoid, do you have to crack a few monkey skulls to make the omelet? Yes or no? Friend or foe?
Wait, hold on. Am I friending the fact that you got to crack a few monkey skull eggs to do it? I mean, yeah, I guess so, because you definitely got to crack a few monkey skulls to fucking get to where we're trying to go here. But I foe the whole fucking thing. So yeah, I guess.
But you foeing the fact that it used like Billy Mays like putty paste, and then just put it in a caulk gun and
yeah, that was probably part of it. Well, no, I don't even care. I mean, I guess do it if you want to. I don't want one of those. And your kind fucking screaming about fucking vaccines having microchips in them, and we're cool with this.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah, you gotta take it. If I'm the fucking liberal, you're the fucking whack job. So you gotta take it. Fuck it. That's it.
I don't know if that's an equal.
You accept it and you move on.
Yeah.
So fucking seriously, this is okay.
Yeah, I got my 3rd booster, my BA5 today. I tell you, I
basically Neuralink.
I feel a little weird. I feel like my nipples are hard. I don't know why.
First of all,
my nipples telescope now like antenna. Like crazy.
They pick up the 5G, baby.
No, they watch the drone birds that are flying around.
It's true. It's how you remote control them.
First of all, my people, whatever. I've got 3 experimental juices coursing through my veins. So I don't care what those people have to say about anything. But no, I do want to read one other thing. It says the billionaire startup is accused of violating the Animal Welfare Act with its experiments at the University of California. Sure. I feel like anytime you're going to crack open the skull of any creature in order to implant some experimental computer chip that literally wires into the brain tissue, there's going to be a few problems before there's a few successes. So what do we want here? Do we want blind people to see? Do we want paralyzed people to walk? Do we want to eventually become the symbiotic Borg of the real world so that we can actually, I don't know, evolve into some human computer hybrid so that we can fully receive the messages of God? I don't know. Maybe a few monkeys got to die.
So, okay. But maybe the real problem with this is, okay, if you're going to do this with monkeys that are, I guess, I hate to say this, subjectively unwilling, because the monkey's not going to be like, yeah, you know what? Crack it open. Fire that chip in there.
Get it.
Yeah, and then, use the Billy Mays putty paste to see my skull open. But because if that's what we're going to do to enhance human life, it's going to happen. I'm friend for that. That's it. I'm sorry. Close the door. Don't let me know about it. It's kind of like people you don't think conspiracies happen? No, conspiracies happen, but it's behind closed doors for the better of fucking human society. The big ones, that's all bullshit. But I don't know, like, do you think we can find someone that's between somewhat cognizant and soon to be uncognizant with Christ, what the hell is that? But we
Like cerebral palsy or
no,
something.
we start forgetting stuff. Sorry,
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Can you find a subject that's just like willing to write off their life and be like, yep, put it in me. I'll be the goddamn. I will be the or the person after, or if I'm not the, I will be one of the first ones that figures out that you can't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's people in line for this, but they won't let them get to those people until they do animal trials. And so now it's like, okay, they're going to botch some animal trials. Like, that's the point of animal trials. Like, what do you want? Like, what's the balance here? Because you can put a concept on a whiteboard and say, this is how it will work. But you have to have proof of concept, which would be inside the monkey brain. And yeah, if you tell him you have to expect failure. Look, I'm all for whistleblowers, like blowing up companies for doing things that are terrible. But every now and again, man, there's got to be a couple company secrets. It's just kind of like you said, close the door, lock it up. Nothing leaves this room, guys. You're going to see some freaky shit. Okay. It's warning you.
A couple things. This is like, go ahead, Alan.
Okay.
Sorry. I was just say, Alan, this is your benefit. This is like a couple things. Like, first of all, Alan did say once, dogs don't speak monkey, so we don't know what. And two, and I don't know if you, Alan, if you remember this, you had talked about boom mic guys getting tossed over while like fishing in the Baltic Sea. Like, they probably lost hundreds of you. We don't need to know about that. You probably were like, yeah, look at that catch. Boom. Like, all right. Yeah. Get someone else out. Get another hand.
Worry about it. Antonio's gone. Get us a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with the main point, right? Like, look, if we're gonna do it, some monkeys are gonna die. We can't do it on like rats or like fucking whatever. Like, because the alternative's like, oh, just test your lipsticks on rabbits and that's fine. Like, you know what I mean? But like, we can't. We need monkey brains because they're close to our brains. So like, I get it. I just don't want it. So I'm like, nah, I guess.
Oh, you're against the actual.
Yeah, I don't want to be a fucking cyborg unless we're talking about like. Unless we're getting video game with it, like
yeah,
like I
everything,
can fucking like replace whole fucking limbs with like robot arms and shit. Like if we're getting there, sometimes okay, maybe let's talk about it. But yeah, look, and again, my major point was private sector. You don't get to hide shit because there's like laws and stuff. Mm-hmm. What you do is you do that shit on the government dime. And it doesn't fucking matter.
Well, obviously the government's now against Elon Musk. They were with him when he invented the electric car, and then when he shot his first astronauts into space. But then he got a little mouthy, and then they've turned against him all of a sudden.
Well, he's had a lot of fucking oddball shit go on since those two pinnacle achievements. So, yeah. He's just playing the game. I think he's got a good life balance. If I'm being honest,
I think so too. Really? I actually do agree with that. I think his life is work, but if work is life, this is like a weird logic problem. Elon's living his best work.
Yeah, that's true.
You think about like what some of this Neuralink stuff is supposed to either enhance and or cure. 40, 50, 60 years from now, let's be honest, us three, we're probably not going to reap the benefits of it. That's fine.
No.
And that's fine. But our children, our children's children, if you say like paralysis, Alzheimer's, brain cancer, or other type of cancers that spread from that, and then I hate to say depression because then you start digging into people's psyche, but let's draw a line. I'm like, hell yeah, throw those chips in those motherfuckers. Let's do it. Yeah, and then throw some chips into my balls. Christ, fucking enhance them, make them bigger.
Yeah, I They don't need chips for that. I don't think.
No. But as far as at the surface level, he wants to get motor function and put the broadest spectrum of motor function into that definition. So, like, if your eyes don't work, he can tap right into the visual cortex.
Sure.
He's
deaf,
basically
right?
like
it's deaf and blind, right?
Deaf seems like the easiest one.
Yeah.
deaf does seem the easiest. Blind seems like the most, and I'm paraphrasing him, like the most easily miraculous.
Yeah.
Is like, do these flesh balls work in your head? Okay, well, we can fix that connection with this chip.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that's happening right now
He should.
is
Though, if he was really crafty, he'd make them all colorblind so we could fuck with them. these socks match.
Look, when we get there, there's probably going to be a few colorblind ones that come out of the first. Like, don't
they'll-
worry about
and
that.
they'll happily wear miscolored socks. Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, all right, whatever.
Like, you'll get vision, but you're cockeyed now. You just got one that hangs down here, and it just don't go nowhere. I mean, whatever.
These
The gift
people-
of sight.
These people will be happy as could be. Like, yep, whatever.
Be great.
well, yeah, and then the other one is like that, just bypassing the spinal cord and just putting wires up your back, tapping right into your brain, and then you can walk again. I mean, that could potentially be a modern day miracle. The other thing that's not happened yet, which is probably why all the Billy Mays paste in the brain, he's the other part to Neuralink is they're building like these assembly line style like machines that will like cut the hole in your head. Well, those aren't ready yet. So it's just old Willie over here with a fucking bedazzler, like trying to etch a spot in your head to put this quarter-sized thing in.
No,
so yeah,
they have a drill bit. So it's not an Elon Musk thing. They have a drill bit that will stop when it gets to a certain point in your skull.
sure. But he has a machine that he's developing where you just lay down and it does the whole procedure without human hands. Right now they're using human hands, and human hands are a little shaky.
I feel like every time we talk about this motherfucker, it's just like he's got this other thing though. So he's killing monkeys because he's got fucking Willie in the corner, fucking jamming chips into fucking people's brain or monkey brains and gluing them together with fucking Billy Mays paste. But fucking he's got a machine that's gonna fix that one too. He's also got another machine that's gonna bore holes and send us cross country in an hour. We're supposed to be on Mars already, growing potatoes. Like, when's this guy's shit gonna work? I'm waiting.
You make a fair point. He's always said, I'm an engineer. And what do engineers do? They solve problems. And every time you solve one problem, guess what happens? You got to solve another one.
They gave you the Tesla. Do you drive one?
I can't afford it yet.
I see engineers work every day on drawings of construction sites, and they don't fucking earn the money they get paid.
Yeah. And by the way, Mur, what was it that was specifically like called like the skull caulk or whatever it is?
Bio paste. Bio glue.
I'm really glad that I coined it Billy Mays paste. By the way, I'm glad that I'm glad that I fucking implanted it in your guys' brain.
And by the way, it's technically Flex Seal that you're referencing, which was not a Billy Mays product. However, had Billy Mays survived his massive cocaine addiction, it definitely would have been promoted by Billy Mays.
It has new Billy Mays though.
Yeah.
Which is just another dark-haired bearded guy with
Now
like,
he doesn't have a beard and he's got a lisp.
He had Mighty Putty.
Muddy Putty?
Mighty Putty.
Mighty Putty.
Yeah.
Did he really?
He
What
sure,
is that? That's
he sure
just
did.
fucking like
Hi, Billy Mays here for Mighty Putty.
All right.
Billy Mays here.
God. And then he had his partner Steven Regal fucking like that had to take over the company after he was done.
With the
After he
wrestler?
died. I don't know. He looked a lot like him.
It's crazy.
Lord Steven Regal.
Lord Steven Regal. He was pimping some kind of some mop head after Billy Mays died, which Billy was supposed to do, but Billy didn't make it. He didn't make it the other side of that cocaine high, man.
Do you think the Neuralink would have helped with his cocaine addiction, or?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely would have helped. I mean, he could have gotten that rush just with his iPhone, just
Or it
pop an app in there.
It could have helped him smell again. Probably.
Can't fix your Can't fix your nasal passages, but
Hey, tell you what, Elon Musk, if you're listening, why don't you build fucking artificial nose bridges for people to fucking replace their nose bridges after they blow it all up their nose? Just thinking, hey, look, more attainable goals is really what I'm saying.
right. Crawl before you walk.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll get to Mars one day
Right.
with cocaine noses.
I was about to make a joke about cocaine addicted quadriplegics, but I will. Okay, we're done here.
Even just that was too much.
Yep. Murr,
Wow.
you're pondering something here. Let's go.
Oh no, I'm just thinking about like that poor bastard's got to convince somebody to like draw him a line like every like 20 to 30 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he does.
And with
he does that one.
Neuralink, he could cut his own lines. I mean, let's think about the less fortunate for a minute there, Alan.
Sure.
Before you poo-poo all these ideas. What if you were addicted to cocaine and you had to convince your grandma to go into your sock drawer and fucking cut a big rail out for you?
I don't know. I'm a persuasive guy. I think I'd feel good about it.
Right. This is also assuming that Alan kept
It's my medicine.
coke in a sock drawer. It's right there. I swear.
Everybody knows I keep it in a sugar bowl on the counter. It's for everyone.
Well, tell us your thoughts on friend or foe with cocaine-filled monkey brains. All right.
That's the name of the episode, by the way. Cocaine-filled monkey brains.
Voila, folks. All right, Andrew, you got some fun fact Friday for us?
Oh, I've got some friendly fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. Of course, brought to you by your fun fact friendly friends over at the Shin Splints Recovery Group. Did you know that once the Neuralink is implanted in your monkey brain, that your shin splints will no longer be a problem? It will just simply erase the neurosensors in your shin area that can't be healed by any other method than rest and repeated rest. Rest, repeat, rest. That's how you cure your shin splints, Alan.
I've heard Billy Mays paste actually works wonders.
That's right. Eat it, snort it, and rub it on the shin.
It's moisture activated for whatever you're going for. Want to get high? Keep it dry.
Oh, shit.
Oh, so find the Shin Splints Recovery Group online on Facebook. Here you go, folks. 5 fun facts for you on a Friday. OMG facts. Did you know the Earth's atmosphere is proportionately thinner than the skin of an apple?
Damn.
I see Wes's brain rolling here. So if you blew an apple up to the size of the Earth, the skin would be thinner than our atmosphere.
Damn, man. So what? So why does NASA always worry about entering it? Just blast through that apple, right through that apple skin.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So our apple skins.
I know.
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking of like a giant like Galactus type creature biting into the Earth, and it has an easier time slipping through the shell.
You're saying like a.
You said the atmosphere, right? Not the crust.
Yeah, the atmosphere, but still, like I mean, it's like a skin. So proportionately, it's thinner than it would be on an apple.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird analogy that they utilize for that fact.
That's just the foreskin.
But proportionally, it's still like 2 miles thick. So, I mean, it's still huge, right?
Yeah, it's got a huge foreskin.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would think Earth would have a huge foreskin. That checks out.
So the Earth's not Jewish. All right, fair enough.
Muzzle tough.
I don't know.
Oh, and happy Hanukkah, by the way. I think by the time this episode comes out, it should be about that time.
Yeah, true.
Did you know researchers found that imagining doing exercises actually increases muscle strength?
Wait, what'd you say?
Researchers found
This'll help
that
you out.
imagining researchers found that imagining doing exercises actually increases muscle strength.
I've heard that. That's the fun fact that I've heard before.
I have a hunch that this has to do with the same type of like train of thought that people who retire typically perish or die faster. So if you think, mind over matter, not to say that like mind exercises are more effective than regular exercises, but if you're not going to exercise, think about exercising.
But here, hold on. I've got to go back because I know you're right about the retirees that drop dead. But isn't that the retirees that like only identify with the job they did for 30 plus years?
Well, they didn't have a life balance. Okay, there's not the Trevor Noahs of the fucking world. We get it. Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. That there's a good theme running through this episode. But no, like I dream of retiring. So like when I retire, am I gonna like? Is there like going to be like a ray of light that shoots from my body as I transform into the Hawk and go out and fucking lay on a beach somewhere?
No, you should think about working.
Fuck that.
You're gonna leave on a Friday and then wake up on Monday and like accidentally drive to work and be like, fucking hell.
Yeah, but you know what? I wouldn't even be mad at that because by the time I got there, realizing I didn't have to clock in, I would probably just stand in the parking lot like a fucking loser and just laugh at all my former coworkers as they fucking load their trucks for a day of misery.
That's reasonable. But then see, this is what happens. Human psychology is crazy, right? So you're gonna get to that point and you're gonna be like, ha ha ha, and then they're all gonna go to work and you're gonna be like, I don't have a purpose in life. And and that's why retirees die, because they come to that, like, it all seems fun and dandy until you get to that realization where you've made work your life and you're like, well, I've got no personality. That was me. And I'm dead now.
I'll tell you what, something that stuck with me. And this is when, and doesn't matter that it's Donald Trump, but it was Howard Stern talking about Donald Trump, saying how old he was. He's like, how many summers you got left? 8, 9, 10 max. You got 10 summers left. You're gonna spend 4 of them doing this? Yeah. What are you crazy? And I think about that every day I go to work. I'm like, okay. And I think about it in a positive way. All right, you got 20 of these days. You got 20 of these days left. Okay, you got 20 of these left. Fuck these. Fuck them to hell. God,
dude, doesn't the government, isn't there like a downtime with the government? Don't they like? Isn't the summertime a downtime for them?
Not for us. Maybe with the guys working the desk.
Yeah, what's the slow season?
Yeah,
it is the summer. No, it's definitely okay. So Christmas, obviously, late November through late December. That's the heaviest, and then January is pretty heavy because of all the gift cards, and then February we start to slow down. March, April, May. That's where it's just like, that's where you're on easy street, baby. And then everybody starts going back.
Yeah, that's when you need to go. You need to go to Key West, Peru,
Costa Rica.
That's it. Yeah, Costa Rica, Belize. Yeah. Come on, man.
Start a compound in Belize.
Get silly.
Start a compound in Elkton. You seen those fucking zombies that walk around that joint? Jesus Christ. Did you know rats laugh when you tickle them?
Jesus. Can you tickle a rat without getting your hand mauled?
Yeah.
Hey, fella.
Ever seen somebody with a pet rat? There wasn't a weird kid at your school that had a fucking pet rat?
It's like hamsters and gerbils. I don't know about a rat.
Dude,
gerbils are worse.
No,
they are.
I had gerbils growing up.
Rats are like intelligent. Hamsters and gerbils are fucking useless.
Hold on. First of all, I have a good story about a gerbil when we want to get past this like whole rat tickling thing.
Does it involve your butthole?
No.
Okay. All right.
It doesn't involve Richard Gere's butthole.
It doesn't involve any person's butthole.
No, tell your gerbil story because I'll get back to rats.
All right. One day I had the gerbil's gone. Okay. And then a month later, me and my dad's friend, Murray, you know him, Rick Bailey, we were like fishing around. He was doing some work around the house and he was like, damn, there's this gerbil underneath your dresser. And I was like, damn, that fucker escaped like a month ago. And he had an arm missing. So presumably he escaped. One of the cats in the house fucking attacked it. And he'd been hiding underneath the dresser, unfed for a month, with an arm missing, and then lived for another 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's hilarious.
It was hilarious to me. I was like 14. I was like, holy shit. I thought you were dead, bro.
And then he lived until you were 17 and didn't care about him anymore? That's a
No,
wild...
I mean, I fed him sunflower seeds and stuff.
Can you imagine? He's just cowering, fucking missing a whole limb.
Yeah, for like a month.
I remember it was like the last year we went to church, and we had these 2 gerbils, and we went out to church for the Sunday, came back, and I guess Thunderdome happened while we were away, and one gerbil laid filleted and eaten by the other gerbil inside his little terrarium.
Oh, they're not from the same family, right? Because that's what happens.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, they fought to the death, and one of them won. And then we about a year later, with one gerbil left, we painted the kitchen, and it must have been like mid-November. We were painting the kitchen. We had to take the dining room. We took everything outside, and including the gerbil. And then about 9 o'clock that night, my mom's like, "Oh, we forgot to bring the gerbil in," and we went outside to grab the gerbil, and he was frozen in place like a statue.
Should have made him an ornament. Yeah, bronzed him. Hey, what was that?
Yeah.
You can't tickle rats.
Oh yeah, you can tickle rats and they'll laugh. every time we go to like PetSmart or Petco or whatever, I take the boy in there. I'll go over and I'll go over to the hamster section, and there's like mice and rats. The white rats are like they look actually like cooler than the because I know what a guinea pig and a hamster do. They just at least a rat can run a maze.
Mm-hmm.
Except don't get male rats, because the balls hanging out like that from the tail is just weird.
The balls tickle probably more. You like tickle the balls, they probably laugh more.
Did you know any free moving liquid will form itself into a sphere in outer space because of its surface tension?
That makes sense. I've heard that actually.
Would you hear that?
Just fucking like random fucking science facts. I'll be researching. Remember trivia, buddy.
Right.
Just don't tell that to a flat earther.
I know, right?
I just
what
wanted
do they, I think they turn into flat sheets of water, droplets in the space.
They turn into drywall.
Circles don't even exist.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. No, I've heard that, and like I think any space movie you watch, when like liquid goes out into space, it turns into little balls.
Yeah, can you see? There's been like videos of astronauts who will purposely like kind of squeeze,
like they'll squirt water out.
H2O and, just, and then yeah.
You knew it too, motherfucker. You just forgot.
I mean, it's just like that was like tickling the rat for me. I'm like, haha, look at them. They're drinking spheres out of the air. Woo!
And so for all you flat earthers out there, at one time, the earth was a giant molten ball of lava, and therefore it cooled into a sphere in outer space, which is why we have a globe.
Yeah.
So by sphere, do you mean flat piece of paper?
Bingo.
Got it.
And finally, did you know you cannot taste food unless it is mixed with saliva?
Yeah.
I thought it always had to do with one of the four. There's like sweet, salty, sour, and something or other.
But I guess your mouth has to moisten that shit up.
Yeah,
or just
saliva
there's no
has
taste.
to. Wow. Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense because your taste buds. You know, people perceive taste in different ways. And then you have saliva, and you have your pussies. You'd be like, "Oh, I don't like spicy." Yeah, like, yeah, God, figures.
But if that's true, how come every cottonmouth motherfucker you see in 7-Eleven's just chowing down on some nachos and chili cheese dogs?
Because he drinks a fucking Slurpee or a Big Gulp prior to fucking ingesting said food.
Right.
Come on, buddy.
In a
But
sphere.
no, I mean, it's a taste is like a complex fucking sense that happens between like your fucking mouth and your nose. Because like I'm sure you've heard, like if you hold your nose, things you don't taste things is the same thing. Like
Yeah.
you also need to smell it to taste it.
Yeah, which is why I hold my nose every time I do a shot of Fireball. Because it's fucking disgusting.
Oh, it is terrible. That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you won't smell it. Or like if you're all stuffed up, like if you've ever been sick and you're eating, you're like, I don't even taste this shit.
Yeah, it's bland.
Yeah.
Maybe
I've never had Fireball.
You ever had Fireball, huh?
I've never had Fireball.
You're not missing anything.
Good.
I had one today. It was fucking terrible.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a checklist.
I've had more Goldschlager than I'd like to admit.
That's at least somewhat respectable.
God.
I used to drink Goldschlager a lot too. At Frostburg, it was a problem.
I wish I had less saliva to taste that Goldschlager and Jägermeister.
Jaegers. Can't do it.
Oh man, I don't know, man. I might get me a little bottle of Jaeger for Christmas time. Just a little something to sip on.
I remember my brother went through a fucking phase where he was just only doing Jaeger bombs, and I was like, "Why? Why are we doing this?" Like I'm like 23, and I'm a borderline alcoholic, and I don't even do this. Why
are we doing this?
Yeah.
We're doing this because I need to take my entire body through that sheet of drywall. That's why we're doing this.
Oh, say less. We're there.
'Tis the season.
And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
All right. Hey, before you go, because the middle class holes do memorandums better than anyone in any podcast you have ever seen in your entire life, we got a double for you, a double cameo. You buy one ticket, you get to see two goddamn movies. Kirstie Alley and the late, great judge and boxing referee Mills Lane have passed away this week.
God damn it.
I know. And it wasn't, what was Kirstie Alley in Cheers?
Kirstie Alley. It's Kirstie. Be respectful.
Kirstie Alley in Cheers.
Yeah, Cheers. Look Who's Talking.
That's right.
Two.
Weight Watchers for Jenny Craig.
Oh.
Or whatever that was, whichever one she was on. And then off.
She also starred in Scientology for a bit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. She got Elrond.
So first of all, it was Rebecca Howe who took over for Christ, I don't know, somebody in Cheers.
Diane Chambers was the character.
Yes, that's correct. But do you think about Runaway, Family Sid, Blind Date, Loverboy, Sibling Rivalry,
Isn't Loverboy? Yeah, yeah.
David's Mother.
Her film credits not as long as I thought it would be.
Well, I mean, because a lot of it back by midnight with Rodney Dangerfield
Did kind of fall off there, right? Yeah.
I mean, listen, man, when you're on 4 seasons, 5 seasons with Cheers, which was the staple, the absolute best sitcom of the early 90s, that's a good resume.
Yeah.
I'll say this. She's one of these actresses that benefited from the era before, you had to work out. She was naturally kind of hot, which made her extra hot for that time frame. Because if she was out today, wouldn't have flown.
Yeah,
that bird would not have gotten off the power line.
You're right.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're right. And Shelley Long leaving.
Yeah, that was a big part.
Yeah, I actually thought she was a better character for the show than Shelley Long was. I thought that fucking Sam Diane fucking love triangle thingamajig with Fraser Crane was just stupid. And then Rebecca comes in. It's like, okay, all right, I like this.
So
She's
you like
hotter than Diane,
but you liked her and John Travolta and Look Who's Talking. You were like, yeah, that
that
makes
was
sense.
That was pure garbage. I mean, the only reason she got that was Scientology. She probably met John Travolta while they were both going clear on the way out, just chatting it up, oh, I'm doing this movie. Bruce Willis is a baby. Really? Because this sounds like a fucking...
Yeah.
Well,
and all of us douchebags.
I've always maintained that Look Who's Talking was overshadowed slightly by the fact that it came out at the same time as Home Alone. So, I mean, if they had staggered it a little bit, I think Look Who's Talking would be, monumentally acclaimed, in my opinion.
It was a pretty good film.
I'm totally kidding. It should have been.
The second one was fucking. Why?
Well, because Look Who's Talking again. That's why.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I don't.
Can I be? I'll be honest with you for here. Look Who's Talking is the reason I found out how babies are made. Because at the very beginning, the opening credit scene, it's the sperm flying up the fallopian tube, and they're like competing with each other. And my dad just refused. My dad never had to talk with me.
To the soundtrack,
so I'm like watching this as a kid.
Round, round, get around. I get around. Yeah. Get around. Yeah. Look out. Here we go. Woo! Yes.
Did you know there's a Look Who's Talking Now? There's a third one. Why?
Well, I know who's not talking now. Kirstie Alley, dead at 71.
What is that?
So fucking terrible.
Middle Class Souls in memorandum, everyone. All right. And then Judge Mills Lane, made famous by a lot of boxing matches. The ones I remember are Holyfield Bow 2, where Propeller Man flew into the ring, and then the infamous Mike Tyson biting when he bit Evander Holyfield's ear off. And then,
dude, Mills Lane was like, what? When you imagine what a boxing referee is, it's fucking Mills Lane with that voice.
Let's get it on.
That. Yeah, all of it, man. And he was a judge. He was like a literal judge, and he was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna go be a professional boxing referee."
Well, then he had the show. There was a Judge Mills Lane show that came on after Judge Joe Brown, before Judge Judy, I think.
I think my favorite match that he refereed was probably like either Jerry Seinfeld versus Tim Allen. And I think there was a Mariah Carey, Jim Carrey that was a fucking classic. I think it was a fucking WBC, like welterweight fucking clash.
Are you talking about MTV Celebrity Deathmatch?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You were talking about real boxers. No. Yeah. That's the only thing I care about with Mills Lane. Is Clay Mills Lane laying down the rules for Clay, Jim Carrey, and Mariah Carey to then fight it to the death.
Yeah. I always because I watched a lot of boxing with my dad in the early 90s, like actually late 80s to the early 2000s. And I used to laugh about him that they would put Mills Lane in heavyweight boxing fights, and then him trying to separate him, like, all right, let's go break him up. Like, Jesus, he's fucking 5'5". Get anyone fucking bigger. Him trying to push Lennox Lewis and Holyfield apart, like, yeah, all right, guys, come on, let's go. Rest in peace. And God damn it, Alan, you stole my thunder. What was it, MTV Deathmatch? God, what a great
Celebrity
Deathmatch. What a good show.
Good stuff. Love it.
All right. Tell the kiddos and the kiddettes where you can find us, and let's start up the social media comment of the week.
Yeah. So, of course, please check us out on all our favorite social media platforms. We're at MDL Class Holes on Instagram and Twitter. We're the Middle Class Holes on Facebook and TikTok. And you can check us out for your listening pleasures on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. But as Wes alluded to, that's right. We're going to start a new little bit and see if it works. We get some zany people talking zany shit on our YouTube channels, our TikTok channels, comments from people about flat earths and aliens, and sometimes even double dating with your daughter. Who knows? So we're going to read some of them for you this evening, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so we start off with the aliens are real. This is from a YouTube short where I said that I wouldn't be convinced at the fact that aliens were real unless I saw someone walking off a platform and saying, hey, I'm a Bobcat Goldthwait. So the gentleman says it's Muay Thai Sorrow, says, how does he, quote Wes, no, it hasn't happened yet. Maybe it just hasn't happened to him. And I know you two asshats are going to be like, yep, see, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Point.
Yeah, it's got a good point, right?
I mean, Muay Thai Sorrow is not wrong. I like that he knew who you were. I guess he paid attention enough to our show to he was like, that dickhead's Wes. I'm gonna quote him. I'm gonna be like, that fucking asshole, not the other two who believe. Fucking yeah, he's right, man. Why do you know?
Well, because I said it's gotta walk off the pad. I'm Bobcat Goldthwait, and that's it.
But okay, So it's specific. Does it specifically have to happen to you, or does it at least have to be like? Because I feel like if there was a TV camera around, you would call camera trickery or bullshit, like in some capacity. Does it specifically have to happen to you? What if it happened to legit happen to me or Alan?
It doesn't specifically have to happen to me. No, that's nonsense.
Question. Like, what if it happened to me and I was like, it fucking happened, man?
Sure, yeah.
I
would need to check your butthole, of course, but
that's understandable.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
what if okay?
South Park.
What if they didn't? What if they didn't check his butthole? What if they were like respectable aliens? Okay, like like there's good ghosts and there's bad ghosts. Okay, and so like maybe if you had a good ghost, okay, like I don't know, like the ghost of John Leguizamo. I know he's still alive, or the ghost of Kirstie Alley. Okay, like maybe she just like helps you like maybe you put too much flour in your measuring cup and she just gently brushes some out for you. That's a nice ghost, right? So maybe not all aliens are checking buttholes.
Gotcha. So
here's a question for you, Wes. Let's say hypothetically it fucking lands in front of you. Ramp comes down, fucking steam for effect, and fucking out comes not Bobcat Goldthwait, but Curtis Armstrong, who played Booger from Nerds, The Revenge of the Nerd. Would he satisfy your alien truth? Or does it have to be Bobcat?
He would be inched towards the yes. That I mean, the cusp of that, yeah. I mean, it's like Curtis.
He'd be like, I didn't really want to meet Booger. I wanted to meet Bobcat.
I mean, I'd prefer John Belushi, but I'll take Booger. That's fine.
Okay. I didn't think we were giving you fucking esteemed stars. We were giving you
actually, no. I want Kirstie Alley walking out, and be like, no, it's a teaspoon. Yeah.
I didn't realize that aliens were Zool from fucking Ghostbusters.
Apparently,
I'd fuck Zool, by the way.
Dude, Zool was a Ukrainian gymnast.
Yeah.
I actually did a lot of research on Zool. on Bing image search.
Yeah, a lot of posters.
Alan, tell us about the next one.
Oh man, so our next one comes from YouTube. There was a bit we did not that long ago about a daughter and mother going on double dates together, and if I remember correctly, they were smoking hot and almost like sisters, and it was kind of weird. I don't think we got a lot of detail on it, but it was kind of weird. But look, I tell you, there's a concerned mother that got into our YouTube comments, and she did not take kindly to our haranguing of this mother-daughter duo. Okay, so Nene D, I'm assuming she's a grandmother. I'm not going to lie. Nene D said, maybe the mother's doing this to protect her daughter. Fair, Nene D.
Yeah. And then the middle class holes, nobody included, who said what?
Nobody specifically said, hey, maybe still a little weird though, right? Yeah. And Nene D took fucking exception. She did not find it funny. She said, my daughter is in her early teens and not yet old enough to date. But if she were in her 20s and I could pull off looking like her sister, I would be tempted to do something like this. Just to ensure she stays away from drugs, alcohol, and messed up men, Wesley. Plus, double dating would be more safe, particularly when meeting people from online. Fair point, Nene D. I'm not even going to harass you here. I think you're a good upstanding lady, and you're probably in your 60s, and I don't want to offend you.
No.
Nene D,
stand up late.
Can't you fucking take pride in the fact that you have raised your person, their daughter, or whatever, in a matter of fact manner, and then you're going to send them out in the fucking world? Why do you have to fucking overlook them in their fucking late teens and early 20s? Huh? Yeah. Bryce, can't
also,
you was like, what's up?
I was going to say, if she's Gen Z, you lose a little street cred if you haven't been catfished, I think. So don't hold her back, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Nene D, I understand you being protective, but sometimes she's got to find out that, Billy Armstrong from down the street is actually fucking Ted Cruz or something. Something weird. So just let her learn. Lessons learned,
I was like, Nene D stands for need dick, and she needs her daughter to intercept some for her.
Oh man!
Booyah!
Right, Meanie D, you heard it.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe listen to us again if you care.
Next one comes from the.
It sounds like she just wants.
Go ahead.
Well, it just sounds like she wants to like use her daughter's gravitational pull to yank in the drugs, the booze, and the cock, and so she can have it all for herself. Sounds like a cock blocker.
Or a cock
Or
acceptor.
she's gonna show up and steal her girl's man or her daughter's man.
Exactly. Doing her dirty.
She's had the old bull. Now she wants the young calf. I get what you're saying.
Right.
We move on. What's the next one? Wes?
Next one comes from a YouTube video, AT&T Lily body shaming. This goddamn video has gotten like 10,000 plus views. This was where Lily basically said, I'm not gonna showcase the world my body because people have been body shaming me because I'm recently pregnant. This comes from Sweat Terminator. She's a gorgeous girl with a baby. Leave her alone. I think I commented. I was like, damn, we said the same thing. What you didn't watch the fucking video.
You didn't listen to the whole bit.
we were complimenting Lily. We love her. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Sweat Terminator.
Yeah.
Terminators don't sweat, by the way. That's bullshit.
Maybe he's human deodorant or antiperspirant, and he himself terminates sweat. You ever think about that?
Man, I didn't dive too much into his call name, by the way.
No, I believe our comment was like, yeah, your ass may be fat, but we want to see that fat ass.
Yeah. I was like, I think I said Lily fart in my face, is what I said.
I probably said something crass as well, so I don't remember. But yeah, I think that the moral of that whole bit was that we are fans of Lily's body, and we do not shame it
Lily,
at all.
spread your cheeks, put your butthole on my nose, and fart. That's what I said.
Spread cheeks. Hey, man. Sweat Terminator, it'll be okay. Relax. Moving on. This one actually comes from a friend of ours, a personal friend, a brother, a fraternal brother, if you will. At some point in time, we did a bit about the new birthday fleshlight, and this was on Instagram. I believe it was circling around Wes getting like a fucking gift card from his mother. And
what to spend it on.
To spend it on. And somehow a fleshlight came out of it, and Duval took exception and wanted to just narrate and make sure that everybody else watching understood that Wes had conceived in his mind during our podcast that my mom gave me a gift card. I bought a fleshlight. Duval, thank you for that. We needed clarification. I don't think people really understood what happened in that video. It was obscure. We didn't say anything about Amazon gift cards or fleshlights in the whole bit. So I'm glad that you were able to read between the lines and really get at what Wes was wanting for his birthday.
Appreciate it, Duval. Love you. Next comes from intra communication breakdown via TikTok.
Interpersonal communications breakdown.
Yeah. That's it. That's what I said.
That's it.
That's what I said. And it's Clan Cooler Crux. Jesus Christ.
Clancular Crux.
Clancular Crux. And then, for those of you who don't know, Murr took a class at Cecil Community College, and someone who was working as a mortician talked about what he say. He's like, when you put shit in their veins, it's like ragu in their.
It's like jelly.
Something like that.
He was commenting on the texture of cutting into the human anatomy, essentially.
Okay, so this person says, yeah, but they need to learn how to talk to people. They're dealing with tons of people who are emotionally all over the place. So, I mean,
Clancular. Oh, God damn, I can't even say it.
Clancular Crux.
Crux. Was a mortician mean to you when a loved one passed?
Yeah.
They were probably just weird to him.
That's what this sounds like. Listen,
I'm gonna fill your grandmother here with a syringe here, and I'm gonna slap Slap that vein nice and tight.
Like,
It was probably like him going up like, Meemaw looks really really pleasant in the casket. Yeah, her skin wasn't clammy at all, which means the makeup went on without any smudges. And it's like, oh,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's exactly what happened. The person who chose to work with dead people is bad with people's skins. Is the surprise here. But that's absolutely right. Like that, I don't ever talk to them. I try to avoid them at all costs.
Yeah.
They've got weird cold hands.
I think it's like, I'll take your word for it, man. That's whatever you got.
Oh, Christ.
Hey, Mur,
Mur,
did you think like did you think when this person was given that speech, you're like, man, this person needs some skills. He needs to like fine tune some things.
Okay, I think what I thought about this guy, and I definitely didn't think about him in the realm of like communicating with family members, like while their loved ones were fucking lifeless in a fucking wooden box. But yeah, he definitely didn't strike me as the guy that I wanted to go out to the bar with and, have a fun, whimsical conversation, after hours at a happy hour that doesn't exist anymore. He was a weird dude, but I'm like, okay, if this is the type of human that gets into like painting bodies and fucking fill them with formaldehyde, grade A candidate right there. Like, be good at what you're good at. That's it. Like, I don't have to.
That person went to. Go ahead.
No, you don't have to be good at everything. Be good at the thing you're good at. Like, you don't have to be good at talking to the families. Just be really good at making the bodies look good. That's your job.
Be good at filling raviolis.
Yeah. I think he's right. Like, you don't got to be able to talk to people. Look, you went to school to be a quarter of a doctor and a whole esthetician. All right. You can do makeup and you can do like one single medical procedure and only on dead people. But you did that. And so you don't have to talk to people, I think. You've done both of those things, and those don't require you to talk to people. They require you to cut open fucking jellified aortas and fucking slather fucking Maybelline on Mabel.
Yeah.
That's it.
Maybe it's Maybelline. And hey, look, get some of the Bill Mays fucking glue up there.
Yeah, get some of that fucking Billy Mays paste. It's pretty fucking good on monkey skulls.
That's living. Dead, fill it whatever we want.
Yeah, fuck it. Get it
My
on
brain's already hemorrhaged. Don't worry about it.
Look, even if a little leaks out, you can just shave it down and they're not going to feel it. It's fine.
Sand it.
Just sand it down. It was a nice, smooth finish.
I will say that the last open casket funeral that I've been to, they did a hell of a job. Homeboy looked better in the casket than he did like the days before he died. I was like, damn, they should have invited him over before it happened.
Yeah, my grandma looked pretty good. She didn't look so good. Little days leading up to it. She looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I didn't know that like that caskets had like platforms underneath that like raised like propped you up, so you're just like, and then they wheel this thing and it's like, hi family, look at my body. we're gonna put me in a hole now. Yep. I watched her do it and I was like, what's happening here? It's like a little false platform that raises them up. And they'd have like a little winch. I had no idea.
Damn, grandma's got some core still. All right.
Fucking crazy, man.
All right. Last one via Instagram. This is beautiful.
Yeah. So this is who's count. Is this the one? I believe this is the one where we talked about penis lengths around the world. Is that correct?
This is a map of the world that discussed average penis size of every country.
Yes. And we found out that like Koreans have the biggest dicks, which is wild, right?
No. Koreans have bigger penises than the person. It's somewhere in it's like Congo or Ivory Coast.
No, I thought it was a South American country.
No, definitely like East African.
No, I think he's right because we were like, like Latinos and Asians, we thought they were like roughly in the same category, but come to find out, South American dudes, giant dicks.
Yeah,
I think he's right. It was like Ecuador or something. Bolivia. Either way, we're fine.
Yeah.
Listen,
Bolivia, you're right.
The biggest dicks are not in Africa. categorically. Fun facts for you.
Right.
So, who's counting? On IG, on Instagram, that is. I think the name is interesting because is it Georgia's Ibona? And I think that's a play on boner. So I'm gonna say it's Georgia's Ibona. So Georgia's Ibona said to us, "I never knew that manhood could be enlarged. I recently discovered an herbalist on Instagram at doctors_otors_herbs. Check that out on Instagram, guys. Shameless plug. This doctor sent me a herbal product for penis enhancement to help my penis grow bigger and cured my erection issues. I never knew that herbs are so powerful. My fellow men should try this." I definitely 100% don't think this is an ad that would scam us into an herbal penis enhancement.
No.
I think this is a gentleman named Georgius, probably Greek, and he's got a bona that wasn't working. And he found a doctor on Instagram to give him some herbs, and bam, penis erect. I think he's legit, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what country he's from. I want to know if he stands up. Christ, if he's from the lower third of the penis size, fuck that. Middle, cool. I'll give you some clout. But he did throw the doctors_otors_herb 2 underscores. Christ, I paused.
I mean, I think that's how you know it's real. Actually,
yeah, and herbal thing. I mean, hey. Throw a little bit rosemary or whatever else in my tea, and things are fucking plowing through at 10 a.m. I'm in. Murr? He's in. All right. Middle class, everyone. Take it easy.
Tickle our tummies at gmail.com if you'd like to email us.
Hey, it's a doctor's research center in Sidhpur Muli Dharmashala. I think it's in India.
Mm-hmm.
I think Georgius Ibona is looking a little suspect at this point.
Yeah. I replied to him. I said, hey,
What'd he say?
He didn't reply back.
Oh, see? God damn it.
Maybe I came at him too aggressively.
Were you like, oh, my penis is flaccid and my fleshlight goes unused?
I was like, oh, I have a limp dick. I've had it for 10 years. Show me the way.
My mom gave me a fleshlight and I don't know what to do with it.
I've been eating KFC night and day, but those 11 herbs and spices have not helped at all. I need
Tried
your
all the
herbs.
herbs I could get my hands on, and none of them had made my penis erect.
My girlfriend's waiting anxiously. Oh.
No, we get some interesting things on our social medias. So please post on our social medias. I don't want to repeat them again, so go back and listen to them. But if you're listening to us, you can find them.
That's right.
Yeah, check us out. Anything else, guys? Are we good? You said the email.
I don't know, babe. What do y'all want for Christmas? I don't give a shit. Good night.
Red Ryder BB gun.
Red Ryder wee wee gun via Grigas.
The Mia Khalifa fucking fleshlight.
Most every day